every day. All right. Hey everyone, we'll be with you shortly. Good morning, everybody. Pedro and I will be with you just a minute. Enjoy All Gassed Up by Wes. Also, if you could drop a comment or two to let us know that you can hear me. Trying a little bit new setup today, especially those on YouTube. Let us know. Fire Chicken says, get it together. Fire Chicken, let us know you can hear my voice. Check, baby, check. Audio check, 1, 2. All right, good morning, everybody. Good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to DYOR Live here on the DYOR Media Network. My name is Tom, otherwise known as Striking, here in the digital media world. So glad to be hosting another episode of this great show called DYOR Live here. One of the top shows in all of showdom, the hottest media in all of media, and a host that uses hyperbole a lot. That would be me, ladies and gentlemen. Anyway, welcome to the show here. Let me turn this music down a little bit. Anyway, Pedro and I are so proud of this show that we turned up late today for our own show. But anyway, welcome to the people starting to watch us. It is, as they say, August 21st, 2025. My name is Tom, otherwise known as Striking here in the digital media world. Pedro will be with us shortly. He's coming on here just getting his tech stack together. As we know, if you're a group out there that wants to sponsor a show like us, we need to get new computers and new tech. Feel free to get in touch with us to talk about that. That was an early shill, wasn't it, here? Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, jobs, 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 and more jobs. All we talk about lately is jobs, 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 jobs. Why is that? Why are we talking about jobs? Because there's fewer of them. The jobs report down. More jobs are down. Unemployment is up. Is that going to lead to a rate cut? Does a rate cut even matter? Do we care? Is it really going to pump your crypto bags or pump your day trading bags that much? Not really in the short term, especially not your day trading bags, but the bags you hold for a long time, overnight, over a week, over a month, over the rest of your life, it does make a difference. So we'll be talking about the jobs, or lack thereof of jobs. Also, BTC shows further weakening. Just a little busy on the morning open today, but nothing much other than weakness, looking like it's gonna go down further into the lower areas that Pedro was calling. Let's see, can all start their run? Or are they just gonna wither and die as people just watch Bitcoin and see what's going on with Bitcoin? There's so many people wanting the alts to run. They want Solana to run. They want Cardano. Cardano is giving away all kinds of free stuff, saying, hey, look at us over here. Let's get going. BNB is up there like crazy. Solana is doing its thing, but not like BNB was by any means. And there's a whole bunch of everybody from NEAR to Caspa to everybody else just sitting there doing this. Forgot my watch. Just sitting doing nothing. Ladies and gentlemen. Anyway, we'll talk all about that stuff. Pedro's got some blockchains and other projects he wants to talk to. Welcome to the people from DEFCON 7. If you're coming to us as a friend of Ghost and Shogun, then thank you very much. We really appreciate it. Ghost, get in touch with us. Let's do a larger collaboration here. Get things going. I'm rambling on here because nurses normally want to introduce Pedro. He's taking in a few minutes here. So we'll get this show going. Let me get some different music going here. Let's get the yeahs going. There we go. Welcome everybody. Kumgar, thanks for joining us, Kumgar. Really appreciate it. So the various personalities. Let's get another personality here going. For those of you who haven't commented yet, we need 4 more commenters to reach our goal for the year here yet. So if you're watching our show and haven't commented, I don't mean comments, I mean chat. Live chat during the show. Anyway, hold on a sec while I get make sure that doing something a little different here with YouTube today. You're watching us on YouTube and you hear all sorts of different audio, let me know. Looks like I had the intro music on too loud there on YouTube, but anyway. Hey, I can hear Pedro in the background coming to us quickly here. So, well, come on, never fear, I've arrived, Fire Chicken says. Connect Me One says, we are here too. Fire Chicken says, never fear, I've arrived. The trinity of personalities is now complete. Oh yes, the trinity and personality. Pedro, I've still got your mic off here. I'll wait for you to get all settled before you come on here. Crypto Unicorn says, all the good ones are here today. Yep, soon we'll hear from Crypto Mike, hopefully from all the usual suspects going on out here. And speaking of usual suspects, bring the main usual suspect up. Not yet. Yes. Yes, Pedro. Anyway, sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Elora Carter coming to us on Twitch. Thank you very much for watching us. We like all of the Twitch viewers to comment too. If you prefer, please come over to Rumble, find our show over there, and chat via Rumble. We'd really appreciate it. Pedro, you still got an echo. You know what? I'm just gonna put you. It's not an echo. It's just like a reverb. I'm gonna put you on and let the media figure it out. Or the viewers here. Hey, Pedro, you are live now. Go and give us an audio check, Pedro.
Audio check, 1 2 1 2. Audio check.
All right, everybody. Check. Does Pedro sound like he is in a reverb chamber, or does he sound good? Then I'll know if it's Pedro or me. Anyway, Pedro, welcome to the show. It is Thursday, August 21st, Pedro. And just so you know, your camera is not on. Is it?
It is.
Oh, I got a goof on here. Hold on, I gotta go back here. Oh, that's what I did. I didn't do that. That should fix it. That did fix it.
Yay.
There's the hooded wonder. Like the outfit today, a little, oh, that didn't fix. All right, hold on a little bit, ladies and gentlemen. I gotta fix Pedro's screen feed. Pedro, man, I got too much shit going on here again. Oh, let's see. Pedro, where is Pedro? Solo Pedro screen feed? No, I need Pedro feed. Pedro, why don't you say hi to everybody while I'm trying to fix your feed here?
Hello, everybody. Just want to say hi. I'm Pedro. I'm 5'9". Some days I'm 5'11", depending on how confident I am. I like long walks on the beach. I enjoy holding hands. I don't like public display of affections, though. I think PDA is childish. But I enjoy a good banter. And somebody who can chop with them all.
Let's see. There we go. There's the problem. Hold on. One second here. I'll bring it right back here, and we'll do a proper intro to the show here.
There we go.
There we go. There's the man of the hour. Fire Chicken says, vote for Pedro. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Vote for Pedro.
And just do it. Dude, did you hear they're doing a sequel?
It's epic. That dude, the dude's Napoleon's Instagram account is epic because he still wanders around like that guy. It's awesome. It's awesome. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, as I was saying, it's August 21st, 2025, and I just made the dog bark by pounding on my desk. Then one more day to the Jackson Hole Jay Powell speech, meeting, all that type of stuff. All the news media is out there. The Gulfstream jets are flying in. The rich people are gathering, deciding how to spend your money and how to take away your money with inflation. But does it really matter to you? Does it really matter for you day traders? No, it doesn't matter for you day traders. But for you guys, people that hold your money a little bit longer than a day, maybe a month, maybe a few years, maybe your entire life, it does matter, because how much money you get robbed of inflation over time adds up to a beep ton of a lot of money. So we'll pay attention to that. The people are getting. Tomorrow's the big meetings. The news media will be releasing a lot. Needless to say, Pedro and I were not invited to Jackson Hole. I can't believe it.
I know.
We're not. Maybe probably next year though. You know, next year we'll be the headliners out there. We'll have a big concert with Coldplay and something like that, and Jay Powell or whoever next is out there. Will come out and stand in for us. But Pedro, as I was saying when you were getting ready there, Bitcoin withering a little bit right now, just not doing anything. Market's still hanging in there, waiting for it. The big liquidity is still just chilling, waiting for Powell to act. Maybe he's going to act, and the committee's going to come out and say we're going to ease a little bit earlier. We're going to lower the rates a little bit earlier than planned. Maybe they won't say anything else. Maybe they'll remove a governor, and Donald Trump will get to appoint a new governor, consolidating his power on the committee. And I gotta say, I was quite disappointed when I learned that the person that was appointed to be a regional governor of the Federal Bank of Reserve was cheating the mortgage system. I mean, come on, man. You can't take double mortgages on your house. She did it in different states so that they couldn't figure it out easily. But big data gets everybody eventually, Pedro, and it got her. It's got her.
What I think is funny is that, like, there's really no remorse there. There's no like, oh, I was having a hard time. She was like, dang, I got caught scamming the system. That's about the kind of cracks me up.
She got caught scamming the system. That's for sure. Oh, I got this thing all screwed up too.
The other thing I always wonder is, like, if the Fed system wasn't so what's the word I want to use? So in the limelight, she would have been able to keep that going on for years.
Oh, probably absolutely. Absolutely. You should, and where there's smoke, there's fire. So let's go find all of her friends that are in, not the people in private service, whatever, but all of her friends that are in public service too, that are milking the system for everything they can, and say, all right, what's going on here? We need to do your own research. Let's the crew out there. Which one of our viewers has access to the mortgage lending main super databases that Facebook and all these groups, not just Facebook, but all the big data collectors have on it? I was visiting someone once, and we were talking about big data and stuff like that, and he just opened his phone, clicked on an app, and said, oh, you owe the X number of dollars on your mortgage. And I was like, what? Yeah, that's where I used to live. And he's like, yeah, it's in this database. I'm like, but that the fact that I applied for a mortgage and there's a mortgage attached to the deed is public info, but the exact amount is not. And he goes, yeah, they sell that info. And I was like, and so I called my bank, and I said, and my own bank held my mortgage at the time. It wasn't sold off to a random company. And I said,
but here's the thing: when you fill out those 120 pages of paper for your mortgage, part of that is them with the bank saying that you sign away the rights for yourself, giving your personal information.
But when I did this, I told the bank, I want you guys to hold. It's called on the shelf. I want you guys to hold my mortgage on the shelf. I don't want you to sell it. I want my mortgage to be with this bank, and you're my lender, not selling it, not Fannie Mae, not Freddie Mac, not nobody else. You got to hold it on your bank, in your bank. And they said, okay, we can do that for you, Tom. And I said, and I don't want all that information being sold about that stuff. I just want it, and I'm in there, at the time I was in there, like their private banking part. I don't want all that shit sold. I want, the word private was key. They still sold it. They said, well, we work with other partners too, and we have no control what they do. I said, are you serious? Are you serious that you sold the info? You give it to partners so they can make your website work better? The exact data about people's mortgage? Well, those are marketing partners.
You don't have a choice, man. Like,
even when you do have a choice, you don't have a choice. They're like, F you, we're still selling your info. And they sell it monthly. So when you pay, I was like, that's my current balance. Like, after I paid 3 days earlier. Anyway, I haven't gotten worked up about mortgages in a while, and now I don't have a mortgage, and I'm very happy that I don't have a mortgage. I just pay rent, and it's much better for me.
So much easier. But the only thing is like, I'm looking forward to the day when, like, we start to see a huge drop, right? Like in 2008, where we start to see houses either start coming on the market, and we start seeing a plethora of builders and red tape that gets removed, right? I mean, we're coming into that stage here soon. And when that happens, people lose jobs. We'll see houses kind of go into foreclosure. And then, in additionally to that, we'll also see the back end where a lot of houses during that time period, because property goes down, everything goes down, people start building again, and it's the same bubble all over again every 20-30 years. This is how it works. It doesn't.
Bastards.
It's just how it works. I mean, it's our system. It's a boom bust. It's what Ray Dalio talks about all the time, and I wonder if they're going to recalculate gold. I think that's really going to be the real. If they recalculate gold, and all of our gold in Fort Knox, and if that correlates that to the current value, which is basically sitting at currently with the futures, give me 1 second, at 3,300, 3,384 right now. If they were to sit there and do that, we'd go from, I think, $40 an ounce to $3,384 an ounce.
I don't understand. Sorry, everybody. I'm fixing something at the pricing screen, and it made the rest of the screen black. Let me bring the Pedro and I back up here. See if that worked. Pedro, I don't understand what you mean. $40 an ounce. You mean the price of silver?
No. So the U.S. line item for gold and how much they have of it. Right?
Yeah.
They have X amount of metric tons. Boom. You can find it actually right here. Metric tons per United States actually hold. Give it 1 second. Hold. In ounces, we have currently right now year to date world precious metal for 2025. We've accumulated 70,000 metric tons. We're up 19%. And then altogether fully, we have 286,923,744 ounces of gold.
All right.
Okay. Now, this little guy right here, this little number here, you can multiply that by $40, around $40. Because we don't take the price of gold at the current price when we do that line item. It is a stated number of $40.
Is that what we stole it? I bought it at?
Basically, yeah. Buying it, however you name it, right? But we multiply it by $40 for our line item, and it keeps actually the price of gold a pretty good amount because we hold the base or the amount, right? And so our debt is also correlated to that, right? With that $40. Now, if we increase that line item and restructure the actual base value for it, because we're the primary currency in the world, our currency is based off of $40 an ounce of gold, right? And we restructure that to, let's say, $3,000 an ounce. Our debt goes to basically zero, right? Because we now have so much money on books, and it could. But then, right again, what will inflation do? It will skyrocket.
Well, we can't do anything. We can't pay our debt off with it. We'd have to sell the gold.
Right, but again, it would give us another 20 years of inflation and things for gold to get back to the right price again. So it would be something like almost a $300,000 price tag, or what is 40? So 40, 400 is 10. So it would be 100x, about 100x or 90x. So that means gold would be like 300,000, around $300,000 gold price per ounce. Within, I would say, probably within 10 years. You talk about a ride. like everything from equities, everything would just, if America was to do that. But again, that could put us in a state where we could pay off the debt real quick as everything is skyrocketing. Right?
Yeah.
Our debt.
I'm only sort of there with you, Pedro. And being a student of accounting, anytime you do anything that's just paper-based or accounting-based, it never works. If you're your own little company, it's one thing, but if other people rely on your economy and stuff, eventually a black market occurs and the real value of something always comes out. And if you fake value something, then the paper transaction ends up screwing us. Quickly, for everybody out there, if you're watching this, please share this. Please hit the repost button, hit the like button, whatever. I'm trying something different today. Our YouTube our YouTube numbers have been going south pretty quickly here. And one of the things that I'm trying to do is separate the ads that we run to Rumble only. And so we need some people watching on both Rumble and YouTube here, but mostly on Rumble, so I can have at least 12 to 13 people watching here, so I can read an ad and do it and see if my new system works. And Pedro, if we can keep the Rumble ads off of YouTube, that might help the algorithm over there go, okay, they're not screwing us here.
I see. Okay.
Might have been shooting ourselves in the foot, but I've developed a way to test for that.
Okay. All right. Well, appreciate every one of you guys. I am going to. Let's go.
Let's share. Everyone, share this out somewhere and help us out. Get the numbers up here. Yeah, I'm gonna hit that share, hit that repost button.
Let's go.
Let's go, ladies and gentlemen. All right, I'm going to check out the. Oh, that's interesting. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Strange how the numbers are so small today. Anyway, I'm sure those will come back fairly soon here and help us out. Let's see what else we can do here. I'm going to drop this in a couple of Telegram rooms that I forgot to drop. Maybe that'll help things out a little bit. Anyway, Pedro, while I'm trying to get the viewership up here, why don't you do what really gets the viewership up, is talk about what Bitcoin is doing or what Bitcoin is not doing right now.
Absolutely. Let's go right into that stuff, and we can go into the nuances of what is happening here and what we are looking at. So some of the things that we're seeing with Bitcoin is that, one, we talked about there's major news coming out, but it's really looking for liquidity. Now, I assumed that we were going to continue higher because I was sitting there and I myself got caught up in the hype.
Oh, really?
Sometimes. Yeah. So look, we saw this huge push up here. I thought we were going to come back down to around here and then see it continue high. But you can see here that our volume here is weak, or it's kind of strong. And then right here, you can see as we were moving up here, the volume here was weak. And I realized that I ended up getting caught up in this junk, thinking, oh, we were going to continue higher for now, or, like we were going to see a higher month close of the month. And I have to second guess myself now, because I was sitting there going like, wait, we're running out of liquidity. The only way you get liquidity for the upside is to go down first. So I realized, like, me sitting there saying we're going to see this thing go up higher and higher and higher, which I do over a long period of time believe it's going to happen. But I realized we were going down, and yeah, we had a decent amount of volume on the buyers up here, but not comparative to what we should have seen like right over here. So I think we're coming down further. So I have to reassess my hypothesis here and saying, I think this area here is another area. I've talked about that 100-day peer moving average, the 111 area. I still think there's a lot of liquidity here. And then in addition to that, I believe there's a lot of liquidity down at that 107. So I think we could see it come down further here. But it all is predicated on, are we going to see that 100-day period moving average hold? And I don't think we are. I think it's gonna break, and we'll see it come down and then pull back. And so it's a wait and see. It's a hurry up and wait, right? Hurry up and wait. That's a military term. But it was one of those things that I'm just looking at going like, see, it very much could. So that's why I'm looking at BTC saying we still got we still got a small amount of sellers still stepping in as we're coming down. And there's so many people that are bullish here for Bitcoin. It just screams that the bank's got to take the other side, or somebody's got to take the other side, where that means they drop it down further. So it's just what makes sense to me right now. But I had to sit there and kind of check myself, because I was like, oh, this thing's going to go up. And I'm like, no, actually, look at the volume here. It's not. And I was like, oh, man, I got a mess with my own emotion. Shoot, drinking the juice over here. If y'all don't know what that is. It was interesting because I was sitting there, I was looking at it, and I was like, wait, what are you doing, dude? Like, look, you see an increase in volume here. You're seeing decrease in buyer volume, increase in seller volume.
Hey, Pedro, I'm going to interrupt you for a second here because do your analysis in your head there, get it all ready together, and come back to us with a 1,000% guaranteed trade. Okay, maybe not, but I'm going to take this moment to try. I'm trying something new here with the way we do ads, and I'm going to try it. So people on YouTube, we'll be right back. Anyway, welcome back, everyone on YouTube. You just came back from the commercial break. We're talking about Bitcoin here. Let me bring back the Bitcoin screen. Pedro, that worked really seamlessly there. Very rarely do I do things technologically wise for the first time seamlessly. And what I did is I have another machine streaming YouTube instead, and I pressed a button and ran a commercial a commercial break thing, be back later, with music and then a little DYOR ditty on it, and it worked. It worked. So we'll see if keeping the ads from Rumble off of that helps with the crowd over there.
Okay, so that's awesome. I gotta ask you guys this: is this real or not? Is this AI? I have been trying to figure out. I've been seeing this thing. I mean, throughout. This is everywhere. Is this real or not?
Yeah, that's AI because it didn't happen. Do you see it in the news?
No.
And look, the other side of it, did all the glass walls break? You can see right through it. Doesn't make sense. And I mean, like, how many people would have died there with 20,000 tons of water and glass falling on them? Plus, the glass was too thick when it fell there. Needs to make that type of glass.
I see it. I got you. I'm tripping over here. I keep trying to gauge, is this real or not, man? All right, sorry. Let's jump back here real quick. Like, I just saw that. I was like, is that real? Am I tripping?
Squirrel.
Yeah. All right. So let's check out here real quick. Let's jump back. So we went over Bitcoin. Let's talk about Ethereum. And what got me realizing is when I was looking at my Ethereum trade, and I'm sitting there going like, wait, what? So you can see here, we have a huge increase. We see a huge increase in volume. We see a sell-off. We see basically a giant dildo, or a flip-off finger. But again, price restructures and we see less volume here. Then we see again increase in volume right here. We see increase right here, and then a decrease in seller volume as we're going down here. So it's very clear that like Ethereum is taking on buyers and it's moving, and there's plenty of liquidity for it to go in and out the market. Now it's going to have pullbacks, of course, right? But on that back end, looking at this, I'm sitting there going like, oh my goodness. And then I look at Bitcoin and I go, that is not what's going on with Bitcoin. Like it's the opposite, right? And we're just consolidating here at this little box here, basically between 120 and 110 area. So it's that 10,000 area box, as Tom would call it, an idiot box. And so it's kind of playing here. Then I'm realizing, I was like, that makes so much more sense now. And so I was looking at that last night and I was like, I have to bring that up during the show. I have to admit, I was getting duped. So
now everyone's
we'll
got to admit when they're wrong.
Yeah, and I'm the first one to admit it. But it was one of those things that I was checking out here, and you can see here that we're about to do a bit of a sell-off here. Now, I haven't been really following the news much per se. What's been going on with Jerome Powell, everything that he's been talking about, as well as Trump and the whole entire feud, and then the whole entire thing with Zelensky and Putin. I'd love to hear your thoughts on that.
Well, with as I stated at the beginning of the show, tomorrow in Jackson Hole is the big day. The muckety mucks are all out there, as I said, trying to figure out a way to steal all your money and inflate your money away without you even noticing. But the general concept is that they have to ease. The media, the betting sites, and everybody have at least settled on at least a quarter of a point just to shut everyone else up. A quarter of a point really won't change anything over the next 6 months financially. There's not just that much money going, we just can't afford it. We just can't afford it. Ooh, a quarter point ease. Suddenly, business breaks open. That's not how it works. Most businesses don't operate that close to the borrowing edge. Most businesses operate on cash. How much money can they make payroll, not on how much they can borrow, how much they can sell. So if they give a quarter point cut, it's my basic opinion that it's just marketing. It's just, all right, we're easing a little bit. The market will pump a little bit, and they'll be like, see, we told you. Trump will be like, yeah, I'm right. All right, thanks, Jerome. Did a little bit of a job. We'll see you next month to talk about it again. It'll settle down. Trump gets something what he wants. The economy really doesn't change at all. Quarter point doesn't change anything in the next 6 months or so. Just that's not how fast the economy adjusts quickly. But borrowing money, implementing new supply chains, doing all this type of stuff, spinning up it takes a long time. So my opinion out there is that most of the talk is on how to keep this thing going normally without, what do we need to do to appease the president so he just shuts up? You know, and even if they lower rates, 100 basis points, or as I've learned they call them BPS, basis points. 100 beeps, one whole interest rate point, that won't satisfy the president. He'll be like, Switzerland's at 0, you know? And why can't we do that? And so I don't think the number matters. I think they need to figure out what to do to appease Trump. And I think what they need to do to appease Trump is boot out this lady who's scamming the mortgages. She's not a good representative of the financial, the people that are supposed to be the top financial advisors in the United States. She says she won't be bullied out. Governor Cook won't be bullied out. Well, how about prosecuted out? She committed basically a felony by signing the document saying I don't have any other mortgage. When you take out a mortgage, you got to state I've never taken out another mortgage. Or if you have, it's listed right here. She didn't do that. I don't know the details of it. But anyway, she needs to go. Trump needs to appoint someone new. He'll get another person on the committee. Will that person just do whatever Trump wants? Probably not, because the smart people get elected or put on these committees, but maybe they will. So there's what can we do to appease this guy? And generally, throughout history, Pedro, appeasement has not worked out well. Generally, appeasement is just like when blackmailers come and say, all right, if you give me $500, I won't put these nudie photos I found of your wife on the internet. And you go, all right, here's the $500. And then he comes back a month later and says, hey, I need another $500 for my gambling addiction or my debt spending addiction. You got to give me another $500. And you said, well, last month he did that. No, people that you appease are no different than blackmailers, and they want more. And Mr. Trump is always a want more person. I'm not saying for wrong reasons or right reasons or whatever. He wants to get towards his goals of having a better economy and a lower debt. Maybe not a lower debt, but a lower debt to GDP ratio would be good enough for him. And so I think the bulk of these conversations out there are going to be, all right, what actually will happen if we lower the rates a little bit, and what else can we do to appease him? Just to shut him up, to get the focus off us. The Fed operated in obscurity for decades. You know, they weren't even public figures. They just put a note out saying rates are going up today. No TV things, no nothing, no all this type of stuff. No millions of day traders watching like this to get that sports gambling dopamine hit on whether they got the trade right after the announcement. I threw that one in there just for you, by the way. And so I think that's what's going on out there this week. It looks like we got the other half of the Spurgis family in here in the things. Thanks for joining us. I really appreciate the engagement. It helps us out. I think that's the other Spurgis side. But anyway, Jason 0768. That's a number that I'm familiar with. 0768. Thanks for joining us. Really appreciate it. And of course, Fire Chicken says, are we getting closer to the magic number? We might have been put over today. I won't be able to tell till after the show, though. Plus, we want more people, and more engagement is better anyway for that. So that's my idea about what's going on out there in Jackson Hole. Other than, Pedro, on a side note about Jackson Hole, I went skiing there a long time ago. It was in early 90s or so. Still a very rustic town. It had that, Western feel to it. The pictures I've seen and video I've seen from it this week, yeah, that's a place I'd like to hang out now. I mean, it went from like rustic Western and stuff to like lots of very wealthy things going on there that look like fun, like really nice resorts with a couple of bars by the fireplace and the view of the mountains and all this type of stuff. And that is all me. Don't let Mrs. Striking hear it because she thinks about the beach. But I was like, wow, that's really nice. It reminded me of where Striking at worked this summer. Pedro, what's going on with Bitcoin here now? As I'm talking, it's dumping. I was in a short earlier and I got out of it. I should have let it go. Ended up making a few bucks, but netting out on the fees. I was like, no. Your mic's off.
Yeah, you can definitely see it selling off here. Like I said, I'm expecting it to go lower here, down, potentially to touch that 100 period moving average. We have a liquidity area here at that 112, so you could catch a little bump as it moves up from it. But again, I'm expecting it to come and touch that 111, 110 area to see what is actually going to happen. Will we see a reversal? And when we see it go up, I don't think we will. But I think we'll see a good reaction off of that 100 here. And then as the next week comes in, it's going to be really interesting to see what actually happens overall. Because we got one more week. So we went for the full month. If you look at it, we went up, we came down, we went up, we've come down now. And so is this going to sell off and then we'll have a green month? Or excuse me, we'll have a red month. Now you can see here that we did not close red here, so we sold off. I thought we would hit this 100 or the 80, the 8 on the 8 period moving average on the weekly, not monthly, excuse me, on the weekly. We did not. We're coming down here first, and so I expect it to go up. That's my analysis of it. We'll see what happens here, though. We definitely will. Are we going to end green or are we going to end red? That's the key for the month. And we will see next week. Next week will tell us what it wants to do for the end of the month. So that's where I sit. Whereas Ethereum they're strong. You can see here we're seeing increasing in volume for buyers. And so I expected to see it go up here for Ethereum. Really.
Pedro, on both Ethereum and Bitcoin, how did they do at the beginning of the month? Like if you're talking about the end of the month coming, we know the middle 2 weeks of the month are the best kind of times to trade, because you see the beginning of the month people load up, the end of the month they unload, or totally reversed. What's going on?
So when it comes to Bitcoin, we actually saw at the beginning of the month we saw it go up. And then last week we saw the sell-off come in as it hit the all-time highs. We saw them sell off. Now again, like we're in a bull run, so I am more apt to sit there and say it's going to go up than it go down. And so I would expect it to do something like this, kind of come up, come down, and then go up. So because that bull run typically takes over the move. Ultimately, when it sees liquidity in an area, it typically sees it come back down to that area, and it'll pick up buyers and then push back up and typically create all-time highs. So that is kind of like what I'm expecting here, because we're in a bull run. And it's important to understand that nuance. I don't want to be you can take shorts, but I want to stay more on the winning trade, because ultimately you can win more by going long. And granted, you take shorts, on intraday time frame, but ultimately I'm really looking to see it push up. And a lot of our viewers, you guys aren't necessarily traders. You guys are more like, where can I buy in as it sells off to? Right, for the actual, because I believe a lot of our guys buy the actual coin itself. They're not trading on any type of future exchanges. So that's what I'm thinking here. And where is it going to go to? Well, do we have this area right here, that 110, and then we also have that 107. So these are these areas that I'm looking at basically to see, are we going to see it? Is it going to pick one of these? I think that's what it will do, and then we'll see it come back. Now, we saw at the beginning of the month, though, we saw it go up first. So that's that buyer wick here, or excuse me, that's that seller wick here that we're seeing here, right? Saw it go up. Now, it did put in a small demand wick, but it was a decent sized demand wick. So I thought it actually bounced off of the 8 period on the weekly. We saw it come down, boom, put it in, and go up, and it was a decent amount on the actual comparative to all the other wicks. It was a typical size. It was a little small, but not necessarily super small. So I thought they were going to continue it up. It had come down first, but like I said, they will first typically push it up first, then go down at the end of the month. And that's kind of like what we're seeing here. But I just think they're going to bring it down to pick up liquidity and then push it up again towards the end of the month. And how this week ends is going to let me know really what they're going to do for next month. My biggest thing is that I want to point out is that we didn't put in any type of seller wick for this week. I mean, that's kind of an indication that they're looking to push it
There's
up.
still time.
Right.
Not much, though.
Right. So it's like, if we close like this, at just a strong close, no wick, or we see it come down even further, tap in, and then we see the wick kind of look like this, I think they'll sell it off at the beginning of the week next week. We'll see it sell off and then push it up. If we see it go up first, well, we're gonna have probably have a negative candle for this month, which is not what I was expecting.
And from my very young look at charts, you're looking at the weekly chart here. I as a lot of people do, and I shouldn't watch it so much, the minute chart. This pattern is on the minute chart all the time, and it does exactly it. It rolls over a little bit, comes back down, and then goes back up. And and I know that because I got fooled all the time. I would see it roll over and come back down, and then think, oh yeah, it's going to dump, and I'd bet on the short, and it would, of course, not. It would hit these even on the 1 minute chart. There's little liquidity spots just like this. And it would hit one of those and turn and come right back up, and I'd get stopped out and lose again. I don't do that anymore, but I recognize this pattern from that. And so maybe we'll see that same thing happen with the weekly pattern. Anyway, thanks to everyone that's watching us. Our numbers have gone up. I really appreciate it here. Let's see if they've got a new ad for us. No, not yet. Still have a minute or two left before we can read another ad. But Pedro, I was in a small trade earlier today. I've been out of the trading market for 2 weeks while I was on another one of my various walkabouts around the country. And yesterday I didn't trade. Yesterday I watched the markets, got a feel of the charts again, because what I didn't realize when I was doing this badly was that you really need to keep watching the charts and get to know where they are. So you get, not only is it the technical analysis of it, but it's watching them develop so you can see where it's happening, and you remember, you understand it better if you watch them. I don't mean like all day, every day. I mean, if you just review them, say that's doing this, doing this, doing this. And when you don't do that for 2 weeks, you really don't know where the markets are. You know where the price is, because you can look at the price. Oh, it says 112.401 on striking screen there. But is it trending down? Is it trending up in a local small time frame, but really trending down? Is it all those types of things? So yesterday I watched the market. I didn't trade. My finger was itching. Pedro, it was itching. I was like, ooh, I see a trade. And I was like, and I did not trade. I said, nope. And of course it went against me because I didn't have any clue what the market was really doing. So I stayed out. So today I said, all right, I'm going to let myself get back into the markets today after watching it. And I saw it coming down and liquidity pools and blah, 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 blah. Moving averages all going the right way, all that type of stuff. And I was like, all right, I'm going to go short for a little bit. Did well. I was up like 30, 40 bucks within probably an hour or so. I was like, all right. And I moved some stops around and stuff like that, trying not to choke out my trades by moving the stops too close. Went and did a few other things. Came back and I saw it going against me in a pattern. In the smaller time frame, moving averages were starting to turn up again. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to take my winnings and be done with it. And I click, sold. And I really didn't make any money on it because I didn't calculate the fees correctly and stuff like that. So I sold it for $10, and the fees for the whole thing cost me $10. And I was like, oh. And then the market went like this, boom. And if I had just stayed in, according to my plan, I'd be up probably $80 right now. And once again, I took two weeks off. This goes to the things you keep beating into my head about having the right mindset. When you take 2 weeks off on vacation, you come back, you're not in the right mindset. I let the emotions creep right back in and panic. So it wasn't a panic. It was just like, oh, it's going against me. I should have reevaluated my plan Well, what is my trading plan doing? No, it's going to go down here, and this is why. And then I didn't listen to myself. I sold, and I missed out on my probably one good trade of the day. And so it was another thing I wrote down in the old great book that I keep around, saying, and after vacation or after taking time off from the markets, pay attention and be cognizant your emotions have creeped back into your head, especially when you spent 2 weeks with family. All the emotions come back and you're like, ah! Oh, Pedro.
Absolutely.
I think we got ourselves another ad here, so I am going to
Nice.
run that, as they say. Let's see if we can get. Let's see. I have my pick. Should I do? These are all the same price. So should we do the Caddis Sports Cooler, Technosport gaming chairs, Rumble app?
Which one is typically best for our viewers? Which one do you think they like the most?
And do we have gamers out here? What do we got here?
What do you guys want for you guys?
We're going with Power Life.
There we go, Power Life.
All right, ladies, and for you guys on YouTube, stick around. We'll be back with you shortly. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for joining us back on YouTube. Hope you don't mind the holding screen there. I designed a nice one for you, at least for you guys, and maybe some of you women, but it's a nice commercial break screen. For those of you watching on YouTube, if you could give us a comment, we'd really appreciate it. Trying to get the engagement up there and bring the YouTube algorithm back into line. But anyway, over here on Rumble, and on X, we got a lot of good viewers here, so thank you very much to everyone that's joining us, especially the Spurgis family. I haven't seen you guys in a while. Hope everything is going well for you in crypto, life, family, all that type of stuff. Shureen. Pedro says, let's go! Come, Gar says, give me the cooler. Sorry, no cooler for you. Nope.
Not yet. Not yet. Here we go. So I think what's interesting when I look at one thing, will the U.S. government stop banning poly markets so we can bet on it? One, like,
good question.
It is a U.S. citizen who created out of New York, and we all enjoyed it. Like, I don't understand why you're not allowing us to be able to, like, bet on.
What business of the federal government's about a betting site? I mean, that's entirely a state thing. States regulate gambling and betting. That's just a bunch of old farts in the government going, we can't have that stuff. Well, we didn't get it to do it in the states anymore. They young people took over, but here in the federal government, we're still old. Got to keep that marijuana illegal too. That's still a federal crime, if you can believe it.
Yeah. Well, what blows me away is that people like just say, okay, we roll over so much by the federal government. We really do. And it kind of, I'm not saying we need to like storm the Capitol. What I'm saying though is that we go through and we say, no, you call up your state representatives and say, hey, that was dumb. And the fact that you agreed on that, we don't support that. Crypto natives.
Yes, what he's saying, yes, you call your representative. It works. Mrs. Striking used to work in a representative office. I bugged the shit out of mine in Chicago, and it works. They do listen to you. They don't listen to like coordinated campaigns when like 80 million people robocall them. They just ignore all that stuff. But when their residents call them or show up at their office and talk to the constituent officer that deals with that policy, they do listen.
Yeah.
Because they want to get reelected.
And it's funny, it's like in where I live, there's a growing population of crypto natives. And it's pretty cool because it's like I'm about to do a meetup, and it's about to be like 200 people, 250 people, just on a random Thursday night. Like, hey, we're going to meet up. And I was like, is that really 230 people? Meeting downtown, like at this college area. And I'm sitting there going like, that is legitly. So I reached out to the guy. I was like, hey, is that real? He goes, yeah, that's real. And I was like, wow. What's up?
Said, I'll come. Call whoever you represent. This works every time, Pedro. Call the office of your U.S. representative and your state representative. Say, in your district, we're getting 250 people together. Send your policy advisor who handles that file. Send.
That is annoying.
And they're not going to do anything, but they'll sit there and look and take it back to their boss and go, that was pretty interesting. It wasn't criminals and North Koreans and that type of stuff. There was guys from this bank and this guy and all these startup companies and then all these entrepreneurs, and all of them were constituents. And so voters. You invite those people, all voters. And it works. Generally, they'll like the first time they'll send a lackey, like the lowest person, then he'll go back and say, that's worth your time, boss. Not to the representative, but to the policy guy. And then they'll send the policy guy that handles finance and stuff like that. And he'll be like, and then all things change.
I think what's interesting is I never even thought about that. When I do call and talk about, like, I leave messages saying, hey, when it comes to the Genius Act, you guys need to vote yes, because it was, and typically what I say is this, it was the crypto vote that really pushed Trump over, right? And if you guys want to win, and where I live is a predominantly blue state, if you guys really want to start winning this narrative, I understand that there's a big portion of us that is, that are hedge funds and insurance companies, but the reality is that crypto is winning. Like it's a more efficient process for money, and if you don't really understand that, you need to learn about it. And so I think what's interesting is watching them. I think sometimes I'll get a call back, and I probably call maybe once every 2-3 months. But whenever, but when it came to all the the Genius Act, when it came to a lot of the other legislation, I was saying vote yes on them, yes, And so it's real interesting to sit there and interact. And
it is. It works.
Yeah.
I tell you, Mrs. Striking does this every day. Because now she's on the lobbyist side, and she calls the here in Canada, the ministers and the local people in Ontario, and then the federal people and all this type of stuff. And if it's a decent cause, if it's like we want to overthrow the world and free booze for everybody, they don't send anyone. But if it's a decent thing that they need to learn about and something that they would like data on, governments, all levels, they want data so they can, anything that's data is called toilet paper. You know why? Not because they're rubbing their ass with it, because they're covering their ass with it. Data means they can cover their ass. And so if they make a decision, they go, well, the data supported it. It's like when you see a 70-lane highway go through a small town and blow it out, or neighborhood and blow it out. They're like, well, the data showed we needed a 70-lane highway, so we did it. And then they're like, but that was the wrong decision. They take everyone's houses. So they like data. And if they have data saying, there's 250 people here who represent all different types of businesses and that type of stuff, it's entirely possible that they'd send someone at least for 10 minutes to meet the organizers, say what's going on, and say, hey, they might say, I'm busy, follow up with me and send me, highlights of what you guys spoke about at the thing. It happens that she does that all the time, and it works great for when it's a real issue. Because ultimately, most people in the government want to help you. There's the few that are, just selfish a-holes and stuff like that, or weird narcissists or orange hair crazy people that get to the top and just do what they want. But most of the people are there because they want to help and be public servants. And so they'll do it.
So all that to say is bring back Polymarket so that we can create bets on it. Please.
There is a new one. There's a US-based one, though, isn't there now? Isn't there one that was legal for a while?
But the thing is, it's
not as liquid. Polymarket's got all the money in it, so that's what we want.
Like it's like saying, hey, we can trade the lean cattle, or we can trade the lean fat on squirrels. Yeah, you can. Thanks, appreciate that. But there's, where's the market for that, right? Like, you're like, let me trade the S&P 500. Like, it's like that's basically what you've taken away from us, and it's like, come on, man. Like, lean fat on squirrel nuts. There you go.
That was epic.
Anyways, that's a Pedro.
I got squirrel nuts at 20. Squirrel nuts at 20. Who's buying? I'm selling squirrel nuts at 20.
At least give me.
I'm buying at 10. I'm buying at 10. I'm at 20. I'm at 20.
Give me some hog fat, man.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Anyways, all right. So let's jump back here real quick. So I want to jump. I thought this was really interesting, and and what's interesting more about it is that what Trump is doing here, which I think is kind of clever. So President Trump, 464 million civil fraud penalty. Oh, what's up, Mike? Good to have you, brother.
Welcome, Crypto Mike.
I just thought this was really interesting. The 464 million civil fraud penalty vacated on appeal. You know what? Like you never turn down money. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're never going to turn down money. But the fact is that the man his organization has made so much more money off of crypto and what's actually happening in it, and yet they're like, give us our money back. It's like, I just think it's interesting, like how he's playing that and how he's like every little small. He's kind of being petty, like, and I get why. Like, they were trying to kill that man. Like, they were trying to take him out. So he is like, him being petty on getting that, trying to get all the money that he can, that he put out there, for whatever reasons. I just think it's I think it's interesting.
I'm just loving the topics. I'm looking here at Polymarket here. I haven't looked at Polymarket in a while. These even went over there. Elon's number of tweets in August. More than 250, over 250, or less than 250, over 250. There's even a 1% that think he's going to hit 326.
Yeah. I think it's cool. Like I said, these little things, throw a couple bucks in, and to me, it's fun. I'm and you can follow guys who have good bets, and I think that ability to be able to gauge, and this is getting to the point where poly market is becoming accurate because of just the legislation, what's happening with it. It was leading that all this stuff was going to pass on here versus any other place. And like, it's becoming almost not, it's probably over, I think, what is the percentage? I think somebody was telling me it was like 54, 56% accurate. Like, it's pretty high. Like, the public is pretty good at predicting the movements of the market. Yeah, like whether markets or industry, or like, will Zelensky and Putin meet next? Right? Everybody says no meeting.
No meeting. Turkey.
Yeah. So it's
I don't think they'll meet in Turkey. Pedro, I saw a really interesting thing happen. So bet against Turkey, and the Russian jets can't get to Turkey.
Oh, interesting.
Because they can't fly over Europe. And even the Russian president's jet, since he's got a international tribunal warrant for his arrest, international court, whatever, can't fly over any country that is part of that treaty. That's why he could fly to Alaska, because the U.S. is not part of the international court in the Hague. Yeah. And there was something going on in Turkey in which a bunch of Russian, I think it was some more peace talks. And the route they had to get there, to fly there, was too far for them because they couldn't land and fuel anywhere. They tried to land in Libya. And I don't know if you've been to Libya lately, but I wouldn't say that quality jet fuel for a presidential plane is on their list of things there. And then going the northern route, even around the northern route, they got to fly all the way. It's a long way, and I don't think they can really go anywhere except like Kazakhstan.
Yeah. Well, here's the other thing. I don't even understand why Putin even plays there, because, like,
Crypto Night in the house. Sorry to interrupt you, Pedro. Just signed up on Rumble to help out with the algo. Thank you very much. We really appreciate it. Crypto Night in the house.
Thanks, brother. Appreciate you. Thank you so much. I think what's interesting is that, I mean, let's say he does have to refuel, let's say in a place that he doesn't have a treaty with. Are you really going to arrest Putin? Like,
well, Europe would. I mean, Europe would. Would Libya? No. Bad plan.
No, listen, there's a mutual destruction between us and Russia. Europe doesn't even remotely come close to that. Are they really going to push that? You have nutsos. I mean, nuts-os in Russia that will easy go. You want to play it around. You want to or I'm doing Italian, but I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like
those Italians, damn it.
But I mean,
well, they're not going to end the world and kill all their children and cause their own children to die because of the Russians. Do you know that most people want the Russian president? Most Russians want the Russian president to be arrested. They'd be like, they wouldn't hit the nuke button. They'd hit the vodka button. Book. And it'd be like, yay, the leader of the organized crime family is out. Now maybe I have a chance of being the leader of the organized crime family. That's why he has all his friends killed, because he's like, well, that guy could be a rival. He could have me killed, and so I might as well kill him first.
Could be. All right. I guess that. I just don't think. I mean, in all honesty, he's just...
Nobody's going to nuke and ensure the destruction of the world and their own children and their families over a crazy person.
I mean,
maybe it was like Mother Teresa. No, don't take Mother Teresa. But Putin, they'd be like, take him. He's yours. You deal with him now. It's your problem, not ours.
That's funny. That is funny. I don't know. I would think that we're not going.
Oops, sorry. Didn't mean to hit that button. Now I gotta let it go. That's usually the Rumble rant or got money thing, but I meant to hit the pricing button and I hit that instead. There's the pricing button. Sorry for blowing your ear out there, Pedro.
It's all right. I don't mean to be. I don't mind being deaf. Um, it's all right. So one of the things I think is important to look at, and I have overlooked this, but have you seen the Yeezy coin?
Yeezy? Didn't it come out a while ago?
Yeah, it's up to it's like I think 4 or 5 billion or something. Let me go back and look at, and then it dropped again. But
Billion?
it's just like billion.
What's its symbol there? What's the Yeezy symbol? YEE.
It's YZY. Yeah.
YEZY?
Mm-hmm.
Not YZY, YEZY.
No, Yankee, zebra, Yankee.
Oh, there it is. Easy.
Mm-hmm.
According to Rug Check, the contract creator can make changes to the contract, such as metadata, disabling cells, changing fees, unrestricted minting. Oh, I haven't seen one of those warnings in a long time.
Yeah. So I'm in the trenches, right, lately, last few days. And they just keep, one of the guys was like, he's so mad that he slipped on it. Because when you go back and you look at it, like it was just kind of consolidating. And like a lot of the guys, oh, it's dead, right? And then it just takes off, and they were literally lamenting like everything. And I honestly, what I think was, good old listen, whether you like him or not, whether you think he's corny or whether you think he's full of it, whatever, right? One thing I do like about Kanye is that he does speak his mind, and he thinks, and sometimes what he says seems kind of crazy, and it kind of comes true, and you're like, dang, like, okay. And there are other times you're like, dude, you're a whack job, dog. Like, it's that, like, but here's the thing. Everybody knows me on the show. What's up? What up, good fellas? What's up, Fire Chicken? King. Oh, that's why.
Ka-ching in the house.
What's up, Ka-ching? Good to have you, brother. But I think what was so interesting behind him is that I think he saw it was a meme coin. And everybody knows, like, a lot of his money was basically, his contracts was stripped away, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of money kind of left. But he's still rich. Like, he's still stupid rich. Like, not like, all right, like when you're at that $1 billion mark, it's like you can take 95% of his wealth away and he's still got $50 million. Like, like that's real. Like, that's real. That's wealth. And, he's got more than that. So he probably saw this and was like, and he's into crypto. He's messed around. He's talked about crypto a couple times. And bro, he probably saw this as a DJ play and was like, watch this. And just crushed it. Just slammed it, bro. And it went all the way up literally to $3.2 billion. It's just stupid. Like, imagine that DJ that's holding it and literally is like, look at the 1 minute. Like imagine you're still holding it. You don't know if it's going to go to zero. You're still holding it. And you're like, well, it could be. And you're seeing it start to show strength here. Give me a second. And I would never go to it. But right, look at this. You're sitting, you just don't know. You don't know. You're like, well, I'll just hold on to it. This guy sold, right? And then this guy held. And all of a sudden, you take that $100 that you just put into it. And it literally does. What was it? And on Pump Fund and all those other ones, because it started, I think it was on Pump Fund where it originated, and then it just stupid, just went stupid. I mean, like, how do you sit there and go, and now like you're rich, and the amount of volume and liquidity that was being traded in it was stupid. I mean, look, the volume was 200. He's holding on for his dear life. You ever seen those videos of those kids or those adults? It's that sling thing that shoots up and goes up, right? And they're just like, ah, right? You're right there. That's what I could see it. That's what I was experiencing. That DJ that's still in this going, ah! I mean, it's literally, and I mean within 2 minutes, 3 minutes, it is at $1 billion market cap. Like $1 billion market cap, bro.
Oh yeah, look at this right next to me here. 0.
Yeah.
And
yes.
400, 800, 900 million.
No. But mind you, like this started off as a meme, like on.
How did it not tank? Like, when it goes up that fast, big sell-offs happen, but it didn't. It consolidated, then doubled or tripled, whatever it did.
Yep. And,
Chicken.
And it was.
Welcome to the house, Fire Chicken.
What up?
Chicken.
Chicken's in the house. What's up? But what was so interesting here is like, so DevCon called it, like they were looking at it, and one of the guys was like, "How many times is this thing going to like sell off and then come back, sell off and come back?" And I was like, "Well, I think Yeezy might actually be in it. I mean, she's probably like pulling liquidity off of it." And then there's the whole entire thing that he then reaches literally out to CZ. He's like, all these people messing with my coin. And like, and just hearing him, he goes, why can't I reach CZ? I'm trying to reach him and I can't reach him. And then all of a sudden CZ jumps on Twitter and goes, I privately DM'd you, hit me up. Like I was just like, you talking about like the craziness that happens here, right? Like, it's just, like, you can't make this up. This is going to be legendary stuff in the future when we look back and go, you remember when that actually happened? Like when we talk about COVID in 20 plus years, 25 years, and go, they actually shut down the whole entire world. Like everything like went complete. I just realized my hair is all messed up.
Well, I mean, a whole bunch of people did die at the beginning of it, so I can see them freaking out.
But it's just what I'm saying is just like this is going to be one of those moments, I think, also like when, he's in crypto lore. Let me put that in crypto lore. I think it's going to be real interesting to sit there and watch the two just play out the way it is, and then watching it just scream. I just think it's I don't know if it's cool or not, but it's funny. Let me pull it up here real quick on GM June.
While Pedro's doing that, everybody on Rumble, thanks for joining us. In fact, before you do that, Pedro, I'm gonna pull an ad here, and see if we can. Oh wait, hold on. It needs to recalculating. All right, everybody on YouTube, we'll be back with you shortly.
is there are some degens in this that are wealthy now. Like they're wealthy, right? Like it came in, they held, and this thing just went stupid, went a couple billion. They've got a couple $100 million out of it, and they just sold. They said, deuces, have a good day, have the liquidity. But I also wonder how many insiders on this coin do you think Yeezy told people about it and said, let's send this, even though he's not the one who sent it, who got it going. But if he's the one who actually got people going in on it. And the other thing I'm looking at it is he's the type to milk. He's a milker, right? Like, he likes shape. I mean, just saying. And like, and like the reality is this is if this thing sells off, I think it could come down all the way to the base, right? Like definitely like that 180 or the 198, 190. But I think it very much could come back down to a couple million. I mean, really, I think we could see this come back down to a couple million. Put some dust in it, leave it there, see how long it will sit. Who knows? This thing might just pump and just get stupid.
Where is he in his legal issues?
I don't know, but he's doing well now.
I'm guessing there'll be some volume change around any sorts of comings and goings in the news.
Yeah.
Still, but I mean, this is a great point here, Pedro. There's been $640 million traded in this thing in the past 24 hours.
Yes.
Wait, something can't be right there. This is saying that's 4 times its market cap. I'm guessing my market cap or my 24-hour volume thing number isn't right here. That can't be right. Well, let me go right to CoinGecko and see 24-hour trading volume. 640 million they're reporting. Maybe it's not. I see. All right, so the market cap is 125 million. Fully diluted is still at $1 billion. So there's still 75% of the tokens are off the market for some reason or another, haven't been issued. We're up. So that makes a little bit of sense, but still 640 million. There are not a lot of meme coins that have that kind of liquidity at the end of their life. At the beginning, like the Trump coin did, but I mean, come on. I've got to think that that's a spurious number. A spurious number? Spurious number.
Spurious number.
Still, the fact is, though, they still have $125 billion of value in that. Which one are you looking at there on Metora? What is just for that one? What is it reporting in their liquidity pool?
Liquidity is 118 million, 0.7.
So they have a
market cap is about 950. It's almost $1 billion. 950 mil.
Something's wrong with the CoinGecko here because it's reporting a market cap of 125 million. When we clearly at the chart shows that it's 950 million. All right, so my numbers here are likely off. The pricing's right. I've got the right token here, but
there are a few people in DevCon that are sad that they got out on it. Yeah. This thing just went stupid. I mean, just think about it. Like it sells off here, so you think it's dead, and then you see the pump in here. Did they actually? Was Yeezy at all on any of the future exchanges that you could trade? Do you know?
Let's see. It'll tell me here in a second. Exchange, Medora, Gate, Bitmart, BitGet, Medora, KuCoin, Medora, 2Bit, Mexi. These are all, like, they're listed on a lot of exchanges because they're different pairs. Medora, Digiflex, Radium, all the mostly the Bitunix, LBank. Well, let's go check Mexi out because they're the.
While you're pulling up Mexi,
they're the king of futures.
While you're doing that, I think what's interesting is also that the United States announces trade deal with European Union imposing 15% tariff and $750 billion investment deal. These are such big numbers. I mean, 15% is a really big number on a yearly.
Go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead.
And no. I was just saying that as an intern. We can come back to this in a second. You said, "Oh yes," almost like a child. During he just got his Christmas present.
Is listed on Mexi's perpetuals, and it's no fees right now.
Snaps!
They do this a lot to keep the liquidity up, and so when they put no fees on it, you basically you can go in and out a million times. So you can put a big trade on, and if the first tick goes against you, you just close it, and then try it again. And then the next day, it brings me back to that degen mode that I'm trying to work out of my head. But it did pretty well in a couple of tokens, making a couple $100.
Here's the thing: you just don't know, right? Because so you got liquidity right here. There's going to be a liquidity pool right here. There's a lot of stops sitting right here. So is this going to hold? Right? Like, are we going to see it hold here at that 935 milli area? Where it came down and then pushed back up, right? Like that's because it went from 900 milli to like 1.3 milli. And so like looking at that going like, okay, if it hits this and we see it push up, are we going to see it shoot up, or is this thing just is the floor going to collapse, and are we just going to see it? Because the next place here, and it's crazy because I'm on a 1 minute chart here, is this zone. So I'm going to place this zone here. Right, and this is a lot of volume in this small little candle here. So I'm gonna change this here real quick.
Sorry, I stepped off screen to refill the old teacup here.
No worries. But okay, so you have this area right here. You have this area here. But this is a 1 minute candle. This is like the Trump coin, like the amount of like just explosion this has. You have that 935 milli area, and then you also have the 893 million through the 813 million area. Now, after that, it is a clean shot, just like this right here, like this push up, clean shot down. Okay, well, that's that 3 million to 100 mil, or that's that 3 billion to that 1 billion mark area. And then from 900 or 800 all the way down to that 200 million area, you have a clean shot down where it will just do this. Lower highs, lower lows as it comes down, as people sell off on this. So it's, like people are taking profits. I mean, you can see it here. People are taking profits on this. 200. So it's just going to be really interesting to see. And then the other thing is, will Yeezy jump back in when it drops back down to a lower level? That's my only thing. Like, I would love for him to come back down, maybe at even 100,000 or 100 million. If not, let's see it bleed out to a couple million, and then see it just explode again, right, to a couple billion, if not higher. That would be just the most epic. I mean, just that would be lore. That would be crypto lore, just to be able to say, oh, I was a part of that, when it dropped all the way down to a million and then it went back to $1 billion, or $3 or $5 billion. I definitely am going to be paying attention to this one and keeping this in my watch list. Meme coins, yep. Oh, you have meme coins. Oh. I need to create a new thing that says celebrity meme coins here.
Coins that will eventually go to zero.
Yeah, but but he's crazy enough to just keep doing it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think he understands, like, he understands the craziness behind watching how he's been able to now take. I mean, he changed. Before Yeezy, it was baggy clothes, right?
Oops.
And what was so interesting is this baggy clothes, that's what we all grew up in, right? Rockaware, all that other stuff, hoodies, big old baggy hoodies, to all of this.
Yeah. I grew up in Izods.
Yeah.
And preppy stuff.
Well, Izod's still baggy shorts. You know what I'm saying?
When I grew up, they were tight. They were tennis shorts, tight around your thighs like the old Lakers.
But those were the. But here's the thing: you're also talking about the golf shorts. I was
telling I was old.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah.
When I grew up, people beat skateboarders up. You get out of our neighborhood. Seriously.
Where I grew up at, you'd get trucked if you messed with them, and there would be 20 of them that'd be beating you with their back of their skateboard. They were ganging themselves, man. You didn't mess with them. You have your Sedaniels, North Daniels, you have the Bloods, the Crips, then you had like the goth skater people. I set your house on fire.
My fraternity had a new pledge class came in. I hear this god awful noise out in the parking lot. What the hell is that new? Go out there and there's this pledge named Skip. No, he wasn't a pledge. He just got through pledgeship. Now he's living in the house. And one of the bigger, older guys, his nickname was a Hoggy because he was a big dude, just yells out the window, "What the F are you doing?" Someone yells, "He's skateboarding." He goes, "If I hear that thing even one more time, I'm going to come out there and shove it up your ding, ding, ding." Kid never skateboarded again, and we never saw him again the rest of the time I lived there. It was wonderful. Sorry, you skateboarders, but if you had quiet devices and didn't make any noise, it'd be fine. That racket it makes, nope. Out. Back of the bus for you guys. Yeezy, though. Gonna break is this still Yeezy? Gonna break. If it breaks, it's low here. Coming right down, you said? Just boom.
Yeah, that 8, once it goes below that 830 or the 813 area, that thing, there's nothing to hold it until we get down to the zero, or not the zero, but the 200 million, 100 million area. So it's gonna be really interesting to see how this flows. But yeah, nice little play for you. Nice little play. Tom loves these, fading these.
It's like free money. Although it would have been free money, a couple of weeks ago or days ago or whatever.
Literally 2 days ago.
Oh, this thing is only 2 days old? I thought this was a couple of weeks old.
No, bro, I'm on the minute and 5 minute chart on these. Like, look, this is the 4-hour chart. Boom.
4-hour chart, 4-minute flag, bullish. Let's go back to the 5-minute chart. Ooh, brutal.
Yeah, like it just murders. It was murdering people. The volatility on this is real. Like, this is crazy. But jumping back to now,
I gotta take a 2-minute break to feed the dog here before it goes crazy here.
Okay.
I'll leave it in your hands for a second here. I'll still be listening and talking. I just be off camera.
All right. Well, will we be able to hear you?
You betcha.
Oh, okay. So I want to know your thoughts. I mean, because the European Union was just imposed a 15% tariff on all goods, right? And they are basically being pushed to invest $750 billion into America. It's a lot of money because, like, as they invest, here, that means they have to create manufacturing jobs and get things up and running and really do a decent job. Do you think that they're going to wait for the next 6 months to really get things up and running, right? Because, like I said, I really think Trump, all he has is 6 months left before things kind of get dead in the water, and now he doesn't have any manufacturing jobs kicking off. He doesn't have any of these jobs that will bring in and help push up the U.S. economy. We're about to see things. I think he's done the right thing in the fact that he's talked about really, pardon me, he's now talking about real economic numbers, and now they're being put out, and that's going to be a suppressed event on the stock market, as well as just generating economic why is that
activity.
I thank you. Economic activity within our economy. And so this is one of those things. I feel like all these governing agencies, countries, nations, they know if they can hold off, like they get peas and kiss the ring, but sooner or later they'll be able to sit there and stab Caesar in the back once he gets off. You know what I'm saying? Once that 6 month down the road, if he doesn't produce, it's going to be a negative situation for him. So it's one of those things that when I look at it, I'm like, are these real deals, or are these kind of like, yeah, we'll do it.
I'll give you the background on it. There is no intention of anyone in Europe as part of this deal to manufacture anything in the United States. There's $0 for maybe a little bit more in the automotive business, but they're already incentivized to do that in the first place. Hold on one sec. Here you go. Sorry, feeding the dog. There's a misnomer in the investment in America thing. People automatically equate that with manufacturing, supply chain, jobs, factories, that type of stuff. Here, I'm back. And that type of stuff, but that's incorrect. A lot of it is energy. And currently Europe pays a lot of money to the Russians for energy. And we warned them a long time ago, this is a mistake. And they're like, you just want to get the market for yourself. And they were like, okay, you're right, but it's still a mistake to buy the Russian gas. And to allow, but here's the different things. What Europe and much of Germany did is they didn't just buy their gas and feed it into their system. They had Gazprom from Russia build out the utilities in the pipes. And you walk around in Germany and you look down in the manhole cover, doesn't say Berlin utility, gas utility. It says Gazprom on it. And so they made it, but the Russians didn't just sell them, they invested in Germany. Big mistake. Something that, and as a result, they got really good prices because they it was a long-term investment. Also, the distance isn't so far. There's pipelines that bring that stuff. But we can't buy from the Russians anymore. And Europe's trying to wean themselves from money because it's literally the Russians' few sources of money now. And so they say, all right, next winter, Europe's gonna buy $250 billion of gas from somewhere. Trump says, all right, 3-year deal, boom, done. $750 billion investment in the US. Now, that's not a nothing burger. I mean, that's a lot of money that otherwise would have gone to Russia, coming to the United States gas producers of LNG and all this type of stuff. The United States has already invested billions of dollars developing the whole liquefied natural gas delivery system, the ships for them. Each one's $200 million to compress enough gas in to feed Germany for a week. And there's a whole line of those ships that need to go to Europe all the time. And not only that, but the Greeks want that LNG too. The Japanese want it too. We've got a lot of it. Canada said we're not selling it to anyone because that's not green. So they're going to go poor, and we're going to turn all the lights off here in Canada because the political party in charge is not very bright. But let me finish the thought. Let me finish this. I got to just the issue is that the money is going to come in for sure because Europe has to buy their energy from somewhere. So what Trump said, and what we covered here a few days ago, last week, said 15% is the rate you get when you buy it. Europe is buying that 15% rate by saying we will cause either governments or industry to buy from United States manufacturers or suppliers or whatever, $750 billion worth of stuff. That gets them the 15% rate. If they don't do that, then they get the 30 or 50% rate. It's pretty simple. We went to Japan. Japan said, no, we're not doing that. We're not buying the rate down. That's ridiculous. We're countries. We're gentlemen. A couple of weeks later, Japan's like, hello. Let's take. Hey, Shogun over there. We want to talk over here. Oh, konnichiwa. Okay, let's talk. And everyone's doing that. And China is still one of the few holdouts, but everyone else that's got the 15% rate has essentially said, all right, we will come to a trade deal, which means invest in America, which means buy exclusively from American suppliers, not foreign suppliers. But then that's all good for us because we get the money anyway, and we add jobs, volume goes up, sales go up, all that kind of stuff. It's a great deal, and that stuff happens quickly because orders are orders. They need gas for the winter. What's coming up, Pedro? Winter!
We were going over that.
Invest in stocks that provide liquefied natural gas.
Exactly. We were talking about the natural gas and crude oil and seeing it come up. I don't think they'll allow crude oil to go up. I think they'll allow natural gas. As you can see, we're already starting to see the natural gas increase and getting ready for the winter here coming in. I think it'll come back down to about that $2.50 area back in this level here. We'll see what's up, how it plays. But that's really where I'm looking to see price kind of get down to. Might see it come down a little bit further, but roughly around this area here. Now, one of the things I want to bring up as well is we know that India has become friendly with Russia, and they've been out there literally buying where Europe has pulled back. They're going through, they're buying that crude oil, and from there they're reselling it on the market for dirt cheap. And so it's like you're not like those sanctions don't mean jack anymore. The old, I mean, listen, I think Trump, if he had had a second term right off the jump, Putin would not be where he's at today. But thanks to our good old friend Sleepy Joe, coined by Trump himself, and Miss Close the Wall, I can't. But that was my job to do.
It is closed. Harris. There's no issues. There's no problems at all. Don't look over there.
Right. Even though we almost had a civil war during the same time period, but nobody's going to talk about that. So the fact is that we have a Russia and a world that doesn't really believe in the supremacy of America and its true strength, right? And so Trump,
I think you sat on your mute button again.
Friend and ally.
Sorry, everyone. Pedro's screen feed has gone out again. Pedro, your screen dropped, so your audio dropped. Crypto Mike says, always here when I can, my friend. Talking to Crypto Mike, talking to Pedro. All right, Pedro, it seems that your screen has come back. Yep, you're back.
Whenever we talk about this, it's always so interesting. So here's the thing. It behooves China, the CCP, to see a strong Russia, because it throws in the face of American dominance. And additionally to that, if Europe is right over there. If there's going to be a World War III, Europe is right there. You know what I'm saying? We still got two oceans that keep us safe. You know, as safe as possible, right? And so it's real interesting to see Germany playing how it's playing with us, and then also seeing everybody, all of NATO, kind of coming in and talking. And I would love to be a fly on a wall in there, just to hear really the back room talks of like, look, Russia is a real competitor here, and they're not playing by real rules. You know, they want to win, and they're not playing games here. And I think a person who really does a really good job of showing the historical value and how you need to fear China, or the CCP, forgive me, the CCP, China itself, the people themselves, I respect immensely. I just don't like the governing movements of the CCP, and Russia, and if they just keep blowing that situation off, they're going to end up getting eaten alive by Russia and China. And so they need to play nice. And if India is a strong country, but dude, I think I think Russia could take over India with the help of China and what's actually happening now. Granted, I know that their missiles and a lot of their what's the word I want to use military gear isn't up to par, but that doesn't take much. I mean, a few times of just really working things out. You know what I'm saying? You know, one thing that makes America really dope is that we test a lot of our stuff out on a lot of these small little, you know, sanction wars that we, you need help over there. You need freedom. We're going to come over there and help you out. You know,
let us test our weapon systems on your enemy. Those work really well. Well, there's no doubt that the Russians would be interested in the market of India to sell things to, but nobody wants India anymore. I mean, the British ruled them for a while, and all they did was suffer. First, they tried to steal everything in the country. Then the people fought back and said, "No, there's 30 million." Back then, there was 30 million Brits, and there's 900 million Indians, and they were like, "Sorry, we've had enough of that." But we'll gladly, a lot of us will emigrate to England, though. No problem there. But Russia would love to continue selling things to India, because India is a vast market of very different levels of income. There's the basic bones eat dirt level of income, just scraping by on life, to very wealthy, and every stratosphere of income, or every strata of income that you have, and each one has its own economy that exists separately from the other one. And they don't even really interact. And I've witnessed that in India and in other places that I've gone that have similar economies. And Russia can feed many of those lower ones. The high end, the wealthy people in India have no interest in Russia. Yeah, they want to buy the same luxury goods that everyone else buys around the world. They have this modern taste and all that. But there's 900 million other people there that'll buy where they can save money and buy stuff cheaper, like cheaper oil. Then they're like, we bought 400 million barrels of oil. And we only needed 200 million barrels of oil. Let's just put a different label on that. Say, that was oil from Pakistan, and sell it on the market. When I read an article about that, I just laughed. I said, of course they're doing that. Of course they're doing it. And they lie in the paperwork and all that type of stuff. It's so funny. They're like, nobody will catch us. Everybody catches you. But then they do that with all sorts of goods too. They transship stuff through India where tariffs make more sense. And that's why Trump went after them and said, look, if you're going to buy Russian oil, you're going to get the 50% tax. And that will help drive the secondary market for the Russian oil out of business. And it'll hopefully further isolate them. Usually threats don't work, but with Trump, it's so much different for some reason.
But here's the thing. They're selling it. They're literally selling it to Europe. They're selling it to Germany. They're selling it to a lot of places. And I don't think Trump has that much power. Like, I mean, he has the power over the markets. Obviously, you can see that. Like, he's like, knock that crap off. Boom, it drops literally 20 points in a day, which was crazy, right? Like, it's just like, holy crap. Then, or almost 30 points actually. And so there's a movement that he's got power. I'm not saying that he doesn't, but he doesn't have like he had when Russia's gotten too much momentum. China's got too much momentum. I wouldn't be shocked to see, China try to take over Taiwan here just to throw things off. Because if that was to happen, right, and or at least they try to do some type of invasion, America would have to then mobilize everything. So you can't do that, and there would be an issue. Again, we would be split. It would almost be like Rome, as it got split throughout the whole entire world. The Roman Empire, and they had, the Germanics, right, at the time, right, coming in. They had the Ottoman Empire coming in. They had all these other outside forces coming in, and they got spread too far. I feel like if I was China and or Russia, and you're trying to take out the hegemonic overhand of America, that's how you do it. Like keep getting them spread out, and then at the same time, if you're not an ally, or if you're a frenemy, you're selling goods and services to other people who need it, so you can build up your economy. So it's not like they were poor back in Trump's first term, and they've received a lot of power.
It's very, very funny is here we have this kind of global political look and economic look on things and the relations between countries and all that, and we addressed that a lot. A little bit ago, Chuck said, have we helped to get the limit? We're one chatter short. But we can get that in the next couple of days. So I texted Strike, and this all comes together here, Striking it. I said, hey, can you go drop a comment here so we can get to our number? And she said, I'm in class right now. Sorry, I can't do it. It's her first day of class at university. She goes to the University of Colorado at Boulder. And her class she's in right now, global affairs.
That's funny.
I said, that's what Pedro and I are talking about right now, global affairs.
Literally.
Yep.
That is exactly what we're talking about. Love to hear her thoughts and views. Is she going to a mid, conservative, or liberal college? I'm interested.
All the colleges are just different flavors of liberal.
I'd love to know her view.
I wouldn't say all of them. I mean, a lot of the Bob Jones University is definitely not going to be liberal. No dancing ever here. No. Where's your doily on your head?
That's funny.
Anyway, Pedro, we're getting a little long in the tooth. Why don't we finish up the show with just a relook at the Bitcoin's move down and see if it's gonna just keep going down today or if it will recover at all.
All right, give me 1 second here. Oh, looks like I got banned doing that.
Banned? Banned from another Telegram room?
No, I got banned from, you can hit highlight on Facebook. And it's not letting me do highlight anymore, which is funny. It's always BS. Somebody can hit highlight to tell me about their food, but I can't tell them about world events. Interesting.
Well, if it shapes it into something about the news and politics, we don't censor anymore. Bullshit. Of course they do.
Come on, Zuck. I saw that new. Did you see that new viral thing of you have Zuckerberg and what's his name? Who's the CEO of I'm remembering the guy's name of ChatGPT.
Sam Altman.
Yeah, there's this new epic fight between him and Zuck, and it's the fight between Neo, the first one, and against Agent Smith. At the very end when he realizes he's like Neo, he's like, boo, boo. It's all slow, and he's all doing super quick. It's actually kind of funny that my hands move kind of like that because it's all pixelated.
And I'm outlined in green, so it's like, whoa!
So in the same sense, I say that because it is a fight between those two for the best coders in the world. And you're talking, it's a lot of money going on between the two. And he's offering, millions and millions of dollars, $100 million, $200 million, stealing the best and the brightest from OpenAI. That's
millions and millions.
Like real though. So
the fight that the amount of money they're throwing at those AI guys. I just read an article about how Facebook came in and just ripped apart a startup that had all these plans and investors and people were going to get all money, this kind of stuff, and they just said to the founders, like two of the founders and like the top team, all right, we'll give you each like $100 million each in cash or 200, some outrageous amount of number. And they're like, see you guys, we're in it. And then the rest of the employees are left with a shell of a company. They lost their talent, they lost their IP, not their IP, but they lost, it's crazy. It's crazy. There is Niner Bravo. Niner Bravo, thanks for joining us. I think Niner Bravo also is from Manitoba. Might be just a little town west.
Dude, I just watched the thing on Manitoba and how the polar bears are wrestling around and having fun with a lot of the dogs out there. And I just thought it was so amazing, like watching this whole entire video.
Amazing.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, Pedro, you sent that to me. I'm pretty sure that's real because certain times of the year, polar bears don't eat because they're quite full. But they're four-legged creatures, and every once in a while they chill. I mean, the fact that the owner was sitting there filming it was kind of weird. I mean, because normally they'd be out there shooting shotguns in the air to scare off the bear.
Mm-hmm. I thought that was as a trip because watching that whole entire thing happening, I'm like lions are scary, right? Tigers are real scary. Bears, I feel like even more scarier. And then you have polar bears. Polar bears are literally like murder that walks. They're four-legged murderers that walk. I mean, they are
four-legged murderers that walk.
They're like 15 feet, 20 feet. Like they can run, I think up to like, 45, 50 miles an hour downhill. They can climb trees. Like they are beasts, like real beasts. Like they will kill you. Their hand is like, it's like a foot long. They have claws of like 3 inches, 4 inches wide or long. I mean, these things are, they're death walking, like literally. And
Niner Bravo says up north they don't lock their doors so they can run into their house fast.
Yeah, it gets real. Like polar bears is a real thing. Like don't play, right? You see one, you turn the other way, you go. I remember when I was in the Coast Guard, we were going to do a trip up north to Alaska and stuff like that, and so it got canceled. We were going to have to save the Herlihy, and not the Herlihy, was it the sea? Because the sea was falling apart. It was on the Polar Star, and so at the time, as we're getting ready, so they give out the thing. All right, this is what we're going to do. It's kind of a last minute. We were going to have to get up there, and what was so interesting was this. Is that when they gave it, they said, all right, if you see a polar bear, like, don't, if it looks like a polar, if it's far enough, like you said, and there's pictures of it, they show you and all this, like if it looks like a polar bear and you're out and about, you go into if you're in a tavern next door, it doesn't matter, just go into it. Like it doesn't even, don't play. Your job is just to turn around. You're not to be a hero. Turn around and go. You know, like you are the government's needs. You are not your
turn and burn, they call that.
You put us over the top for unique chatters. Thank you. Thanks, Niner Bravo. Are you ex-military? Niner Bravo?
Yeah, it's Crypto Mike.
Oh, I'm a little slow there. Okay. Alrighty. Mike said to join. Awesome. Mike's pretty awesome. Okay. Pretty dope. But either way, it's just cool to sit there and see that. When me looking at, I myself looking at the market, like I said, I'm looking at us to come test that 100 period moving average, sitting at the 111 area. That's really what I'm looking at. If we see it peak, this is something that we could see happen right here. We see it come, tap, maybe sit there and then go up right there. I call that the booty bottom. Right. Or we see it come down, pop, boom, come in, and then go up. So that's definitely what we're looking at right there. All right, that's about it in a nutshell, guys. But yeah, be looking for that. I expect us to come down and touch these areas right here. The prices will go there. Like it's going to go there. It depends on if it's going to continue down or are we going to see it pull back and then continue up. And so we'll see what happens tonight into tomorrow. Friday. What do we have planned for the Friday for our show? Do you have anything planned or?
No, I don't have anything special planned for Friday. Usually that's more of a wing it day for me, because it used to be the our Twitter Spaces day. But we could do something fun. I might have to do a shorter show tomorrow though.
Gotcha.
Oh, I like that emoji there, Crypto Mike. How did you get that one? Is a Bitcoin with sunglasses coming over it? He's got this Rumble figured out better than me.
Looking good. All right.
Yeah, I gotta get the emoji game going here for the fans better.
You gotta.
Anyway, as Pedro was about to say, thanks to everybody. Pedro?
Yeah, for coming in. Yeah, thanks for coming in, guys. Appreciate every one of you. It's been a good week with views and everything, but also more important, just going over and bringing this value to you guys. I'm talking about the trading markets, as well as looking at the news and seeing what's happening around the world. If you guys have any questions or anything you want us to tap into, please make a comment, ask us to check out. Like I said, give us a list of the tickers and we can pull them up and do the TA for you guys. Apart from that, thanks for coming in today, and we appreciate every one of you.
Crypto Mike says, we need a DYOR emoji. I actually have one, but if you'll notice, our logo is a D, and the Democratic National Party of the United States just rebranded after the last election to a D that is exactly like ours. The same font, same 3D look, same everything. And so I'm actually looking to change ours. So I'm going to get some new emojis, which I'm sure now AI can come up with a whole package of them in 10 seconds instead of having to create them anymore. Anyway, as Pedro says, thank you very much, everyone, for joining us. I really appreciate it, as always. Coming in here and spending your time with us. As Crypto Lifer says, thank you for sharing your most precious asset, and that is your time. And also, your thanks for your patience as Pedro and I stumble through educating you and entertaining you. As always, go out and have a great day. Come back tomorrow ready to go at it again, because tomorrow is going to be Friday. Friday, we're going to have a little fun and perhaps make even a little money. Perhaps. See if old Tom here can get back in the trading game and not panic sell. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, we will see you again shortly in exactly 22 hours. So be there. Pedro, have a great day.
You too.
Wrong button. That one.